What is up, guys? It's me, the Less Lethal Bandit, and today I'm bringing you guys a little bit different video. I'm going to try to conduct my own interview. I'm going to be talking about how I got into Less Lethal and my corrections experience and everything. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know that in none of my videos that you see, you'll never hear me ask you guys to like and subscribe to my channel. You do that on your own free will, because like I said, I'm not trying to get money or nothing, no promotional stuff. I'm not trying to promote any products, and if I ever do try to promote something, I will tell you guys straight up in the video that, hey, that I'm promoting this product and everything like that. I want my channel to be open and honest with you guys, and I just do this because I love to do it, guys. Like, I love to see what other people's done. I love to try to make my own content and be open and honest with it and with my experiences and stuff with it. So most of my content will be opinionated. Like, it'll be my own opinion, unless I say something that's fact and I want to try to get a debate out of somebody. I'll say something that's fact. I'll tell you in the video. But other than that, guys, like I said, I'll never ask you to like and subscribe. And you probably seen most of my videos. They're never edited, guys. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not too tech savvy. I don't know how to do all that stuff with editing videos. If I did, I'd probably start editing them, but I don't. I know how to do thumbnails. That's about it. But as far as editing and cutting the videos and shit, I don't know how to do none of that. I'm trying to learn though. And LTL interviews, if you see this and you want to do my interview on your thing, you're more than welcome to download it and edit it as you wish. With that being said, for you guys that don't know, East Coast Less Lethal shared a video this morning or last night where he's talking about burning and false advertisement and how it's going to lead to somebody getting hurt. And he's exactly right, guys. He stated nothing but facts, such as DK Spencer in his video when he done it. It's nothing but facts, guys. Shouldn't be doing that. But at the end of that video, he shouted out me and my channel, and he said I was an expert, and that's really kind of him to say. And to that, and this is what I got to say, this is my response to it. Guys, like he said in that video, I have expertise in corrections and stuff. As far as like airsmithing and taking guns apart, I'm still learning, guys. Like he said in the video, I'm a student, he's a student, I'm a student, guys. I'm learning stuff every day. I'm not going to try to tell you guys something that I'm not. I'm not going to sit here and make up stuff for you guys and everything like that. And to anybody else that does the editing and stuff like that, I'm not trying to throw shade at nobody or nothing like that. I'm just saying, myself, I don't know how to edit it, and I don't ask people to like and sub to my channels. They do it at their own free will, and that's no offense to anybody that does. It's just not my cup of tea, because I do this for a hobby, and to me it's kind of more of a hobby. It's kind of a lifestyle because I just love doing it so much. But how it started for me, guys, probably how it started for most of you guys. When I was younger, I was into air rifles, pellet rifles, airsoft and stuff like that. And probably the earliest I remember, probably when I was 6 years old, I got my first air rifle. I can't remember what kind it was. But I mean, I had that air rifle for a long, long time. And I remember when I was 12, I took that same air rifle, guys, and I went in the hills and I killed squirrels with it. I used to think I was a modern day Chris Kyle because I could go up there and kill squirrels with an air rifle. And it just, from that day on, from the time I got that air rifle, it always blew my mind and puzzled me how, like, this air rifle is this powerful and it's able to kill squirrels and groundhogs and stuff with it, and it's running on air. Like a break barrel pellet rifle, it runs on air, and it's able to do this much damage and provide for your family if you're using it to kill squirrels with, such as me. Like, when I went hunting with it when I was younger, everything that I would kill, I would eat, guys. I mean, that's just how I was raised here in Eastern Kentucky. I mean, most Eastern Kentucky people, well, my family anyway, we learned how to hunt from an early age and stuff, and it really paid off, guys. Like, it really did. But that being said, so for me, my Less Lethal career really started in 2020 when I joined the Department of Corrections. I worked at Southeast State Correctional Complex in Wheelwright, Kentucky. Small little prison. But when you go through the academy in the Kentucky Department of Corrections, it's mandatory. If you ain't got sprayed with pepper spray or ever experienced that, you have to do it. Like, it's mandatory. Unless you get some kind of medical paper or something like that saying that you can't do it and stuff, they might not spray you. But then again, they might not even let you be an officer with the Kentucky Department of Corrections if you can't get pepper sprayed. Like, it's mandatory. You have to do that. So with that being said, it's like a 5 or 6 week, maybe 8 week class, guys. I can't remember how long it was when I went through, but I was going through during the COVID area, so everything was like modified when I had to go through it, because that's when COVID first started getting really bad and shit like that. So when you go through the academy, they teach you a lot of classroom side of it. You get to learn how to talk to how inmates act. Apparently, I mean, you're not around inmates at that point. It's just people and their experience talking to you about it. You do classroom, you learn first aid, CPR, you learn little self-defense moves and everything like that. That really ain't helpful, and we'll get into that later. But when it comes to pepper spray time, you do like a whole day before you get pepper sprayed of learning how it works, learning how to spray it, and the proper and appropriate approach of how to spray an inmate and everything like that. You learn every bit of that. Then it comes time to get sprayed. Me, I've never been around pepper spray or anything before in my life. I've really never watched never watched videos or nothing on pepper spray until after I got pepper sprayed, and this is how my day went. So when it come time for me to get pepper sprayed, I got pepper sprayed with Saber Red 1.3, and as you know, if you watch my pepper spray video, it's levels, and that is some hot shit. Well, I was watching all these. They have like an obstacle course that's set up that you run through when you get pepper sprayed. And I was watching all these other people out there get sprayed because they have you stand in a line and they call you like one at a time to get sprayed. And I was just watching all these people freak out and go through this course. And I was like, damn. I was like, it made me real nervous. Like my heart was beating out my chest. I was like, damn, this shit affecting these people like this. I said, damn, maybe I'm in the wrong fucking job. Maybe I don't want this. But no, guys, when I got pepper sprayed, they call you up, they make you close your eyes, and they shoot one line across, and if it don't get directly on your eyelids, they shoot it again until it's on your eyelids, and then they take a water bottle and get close to your face, and they squirt your face with the water bottle to make it all run down your face. And then when I got sprayed, guys, I still had my eyes closed, and I was like, well, shit, this ain't that bad, because I was watching some people, as soon as the spray would hit their face, they'd start freaking out. And I was like, well, fuck, this ain't that bad. Well, where it gets bad is after they spray your face with the water bottle, they make you blink until it does take effect on you. So they told me to blink, and I think I got to the third blink, and it hit me, guys, and I started freaking out. Like, instantly, I felt like I couldn't breathe. Fucking my heart rate was already up, and then they're sitting there screaming at you to do this course, and you fucking can't see. So, like, the course is you have to run and throw knees to simulate like you're fighting with an inmate if you got pepper sprayed. They make you holler on the radio to say, hey, I've been pepper sprayed, to simulate in case you're in a dorm with inmates. And then you have to go throw elbows and shit like that. And then the last thing you have to do, the instructor, they pick up a random object, and you have to identify what that object is. Like, you literally have to hold your eyes open like this to identify, because you can't open your eyes. And the best way for you guys that ain't never experienced pepper spray, this is how I would explain it. Imagine taking crushed glass until it's like a fine powder, and taking sand and mixing it together and just throwing it in your eyes. That's how pepper spray feels, and it feels like the devil is literally just pissed all over your face. Like, you feel like that for depending on what level it is. Like, mine was a level 3, so I felt like that for hours on end. Like, and after that, they make you go in there and you still have to learn a bunch of classroom work, and you have to take a test and pass out of it to show that you passed the class, that you got certified. Because the certified part was you getting sprayed with it. Now you got to be able to like put on paper that show that, hey, I took the class, and you got to test out of it, guys. So everything you do in the Department of Corrections Academy, you have to test out of it. They show you all this hands-on stuff, and you have to take a little written oral test to show that you passed out of it. Well, during that time with taser too, like, taser is optional in the academy. They don't make you to get tasered because, you know, some people's got bad hearts and stuff. It's optional. And when you do take the taser, you have to sign a consent form saying that, hey, if you die or some shit by getting tasered, that you ain't going to blame the Department of Corrections, which a taser is a really good tool too. It just don't work all the time, which pepper spray, I mean, it works, but sometimes it don't work. But the thing is, guys, when going through there, like me, if you're going to go through the academy, guys, make sure you take the taser. If you're able to take the taser and you're healthy enough to get it, make sure you take it. I mean, it's a good experience, and you need, like I said, the reason they make you get sprayed with this stuff and make you go through this, when you actually get to the prison and start working around inmates and stuff like that, you will learn that inmates will sue you over any little thing. Any little thing an inmate will sue you over. Like, if you spray an inmate and he thinks that you sprayed him the wrong way, if you sprayed it for too long, he will try to sue you over. That's their right. They can go get a lawyer, and they can try to file charges against you and everything. So the reason they want you to get sprayed and experience all this stuff with, in case you ever have to spray an inmate and that inmate tries to sue you and takes you to court, the Kentucky Department of Corrections can back you up and says, well, we trained this dude. He got sprayed himself, and right here's his certification with it. He knows exactly what the pain that inmate went through because he went through it himself. So that's the whole point behind it. So that being said, guys, I made it through the academy. I got up to the prison. I actually started working around inmates. And one thing that I've learned real quick, guys, that that for you guys that don't know, especially other adults, and maybe if there's kids watching this, monsters just ain't monsters that hide under the bed that comes out at nighttime. When you're working around inmates constantly, working around killers, pedophiles, and rapists, you learn that monsters look just like me and you. They don't look like what you see on TV. They look just like me and you, and they sound just like me and you. And some of these guys that I experienced, guys, I've been around killers, I've been around pedophiles, I've been around rapists and everything like that. And my honest opinion, guys, the ones I couldn't stand to be around the most was fucking pedophiles. I couldn't stand to be around fucking pedophiles at all. Like, it just, I don't know. Does that mean I treated them different? No, I done my job. I treated every inmate fair, firm, or consistent. I never treated one no better than the other, because what I mean by it, guys, is you're like, well, you're in a prison, you can just walk around. No. When you're an officer, I spent 3 years in correction, guys. When you're an officer and you first go in, they put you in a dorm. You have to earn your experience. Like, you see these other good posts where if you ever go to a prison, you see this post where somebody's sitting outside in the guard box that's watching. That's an officer that's probably got experience under his belt. He's been there a long time and he's earned that spot. But when you first come in as a newbie, you got to work, get your experience in the dorms, learning the inmates, learn how they work and shit like that. So me, when I first got it to the prison, I was working in a dorm, and a dorm is a big old place with big steel doors every so often, and then the inmates during the day, they can come out and roam around, and at nighttime they go in there and shut their door and we could duck count on them. Well, my dorm had like 200 to 300 inmates in it, and it's only me and another officer to a dorm. So the other officer is usually locked in a cab, and the cab is the guy who controls all the doors and everything like that, lets the inmates out. And the cab, imagine walking into a room and it's got a big window right here that you can see the dorm with, and a big window in front of it. You can pretty much see, like, if you turn around 360, you can see everything that's going on around you through these big, thick, bulletproof glass windows and a big steel door blocking that officer in there. He's locked in there all day. And unless you switch with that officer, you're out there on the floor all day with inmates. And being surrounded by inmates all day long, guys, for a long period, it takes an effect on you. Especially like when you're around killers and rapists and they're all in one area and you're just walking around, because eventually you do have to talk to these guys. Like, you have to talk to them and you learn their personalities. And like I said, guys, I met a lot of decent people inside prison who was just in there for minor drug charges and shit like that. A lot of decent human beings. And I also met monsters who, when I was talking to them, was good people until I read their files and realized, hey, this dude fucking cut women's heads off and stuck them in duffel bags and fucking threw them in the trash. Like, you learn that shit. And that's where you learn that monsters look just like me and you on a day-to-day basis, guys. Like, it ain't just what you see on TVs. But during that, I spent a year doing that. And then I interviewed for sergeant. We had a sergeant position open up, and I interviewed for sergeant. I managed to get sergeant. So in my 3 years in corrections, because for you guys that don't know, I don't work corrections no more. Like, it's just, I just wanted, that was the time of my life, and I just wanted to get that experience in there, and I'm glad that I did. But that being said, my first year I was an officer. My second year I was a sergeant, and my third year I was still a sergeant. And during those last 2 years that I worked, I was also part of the Corrections Emergency Response Training, otherwise known as CERT. And for you guys that don't know what that is, it's like a specially trained team that handles, like, if there's a riot in a prison or something like that, they're the ones that goes in and deals with it. So when I was going through CERT training, guys, like I said, it was modified. It was during COVID and shit, so it wouldn't, like, it's supposed to be like a 3-4 week thing, and mine was lowered down to like 2 weeks. So we had to do a lot. We had to learn a lot within that 2 week period. And let me just say this, if you're going through CERT training, guys, it fucking sucks. They have you doing physical, like, it's like military training. Like, they have you doing fucking push-ups every day, fucking from 5 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening. You'll be doing push-ups all fucking day long. Like, it sucks. They'll have you doing over-the-hand claps where you're sitting there doing this, and when you do that for hours on end, your arms, like, time I left there, guys, I'm gonna be honest, like, time I left there in a 2 week time, I couldn't clap my hands. I could only put my hands like this. When they had us doing them claps, I couldn't clap my hands. The people beside of me would have to push my arms to help me clap. Like, it was painful. But during that time, guys, you go through pepper ball training, you go through CS gas training, which is tear gas. You go through all these, like, technique trainings, and you also have to get sprayed and taser and shit like that. Like, you have to go through all that shit again, but it's like a more of an in-depth view of it than like when you went through the academy. It's more in-depth and it's more hands-on training with everything. So when I went through the training with CERT, I got sprayed again. Instead of getting sprayed by the little cans, I got sprayed by the big MK fire extinguisher looking cans of OC. and that sucked, guys. And their course, when you go through it, is like I said, you had to go through an obstacle course going through the academy. Their course is bigger. Like their course, when you get sprayed, you have to run, do like 15 push-ups, and then you have to get up and verify what an officer's holding in their hand, and then you got to go over and they have like people dressed up as inmates, and you got to, like, it's 2 inmates fighting, and you got to break them up and put them in handcuffs and everything while you're being sprayed. So it's a little bit more brutal than the academy is. And on top of that, if you mess up, they make you do more push-ups and shit, and you learn how to march and do all this left face, right face, about turns and all that. You're marching constantly. And that brings me to the pepper ball. That's really where I got into less lethal launchers at, guys, because like the pepper ball, what they done to us was pretty brutal. So how they done us, they put us in a formation, and they put us in a front lean rest position. For you guys that don't know what that is, it's a push-up position. And then they shot like 100 pepper balls while we're doing push-ups. Like they probably shot them like an inch from her face, where the dust would hit and it'd just blow up in her face. And we had to do like so many push-ups with that shit all over her face. And then they stood us up, and some of us still had white powder all over her face from the pepper balls. And then they stood us up and shot like 100 to 200 more, because we had like 5 instructors, and every one of them had pepper ball guns. And at that time, the pepper ball guns they was using was, I think it was by Sabre. I think it's the TIB 90s. It's the one that's got the tank underneath the barrel. Like the fucking tank is like the grip. And them is pepper ball slinging machines, and we had like 5 instructors, and every one of them was shooting pepper balls. So altogether, it's probably at least about, they probably wasted over $1,000 in pepper balls that day. But they created this big old cloud after they done that to us, and they made us stand there with pepper dust all over our face. And after they shot so many, this big cloud's coming towards us, and they made us start singing Happy Birthday. And the reason they wanted us to do that for, because when you're singing Happy Birthday, at some point while you're singing it, you have to take a breath. They want you to breathe that shit in. They want you to get it in your nose and in your lungs, see how you react. And for the people that don't know, while you're doing that and you're breathing that shit in, if you break out of formation and start doing crazy shit, like freaking out or something shit, they'll make you do push-ups and shit and everything. So none of us broke, but there was people in my formation who started having nosebleeds and everything, and like on the verge of dying trying to sing Happy Birthday. Something that's supposed to be peaceful, they turned it into fucking misery. They use your weaknesses against you in that cert bullshit, but it's no joke. And then that's how I got into less lethal launchers, guys. And they also, like, you have to get shot bomb. So I took 6 to the back. And to me, when you take 6 pepper balls to the back, you think it ain't no big deal. Like, them markers is only like 20 to 23 joules at most. And them markers, guys, I had a big thick jacket on like this right here. I had one on that says Kentucky DOC on the back of it. A big, thick, nice jacket, guys. And I got shot 6 times. It's pop, 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 pop in the back. And I thought I was dying, guys. My back was all bruised up and shit. Like, those ain't no jokes, especially when you're getting hit like multiple with them. But they want to simulate that. And like I said, brings it back in case you have to shoot an inmate with it during a riot situation. And that inmate, you know, guys, even though they're inmates, they still got rights too. So in case they try to sue you. So that brought me into the marker part of it. And then when you start getting into the flashbangs part of it, because going through the cert training, you deal with flashbangs and CS gas. And let me tell you guys, CS gas is no fucking joke. The tear gas is no fucking joke at all. Like, I know you've seen probably Marine training, Army training, where they take you in this big open room and you put your gas mask on. They make you take your gas mask off, but they're still able to see the hands in front of their face and shit. The shit they done to us, guys, was fucking brutal. It was torture. They got in trouble for it afterwards. I think somebody even got fired. But the way they done us, guys, they put us in a room that could only fit like 5 people. But imagine the size of a closet. Imagine trying to fit like 5, 6 people in your closet. So they put us in a room like that with our gas mask on. They took a smoke grenade and a CS grenade, and they put it in this metal container that was in the middle of the room, and they just closed the door behind us. So time a big smoke grenade goes off and a CS grenade going off, there's so much smoke, guys, that you literally, like, you cannot see your hand in front of your face. Like I couldn't, like, I was shoulder to shoulder with people and I couldn't even see who I was. Like, it was so, like, you can't see your hand in front of your face. And then they have you take your gas mask off. And for you guys that don't know CS gas, imagine, like, you know how you can breathe and go and feel air fill into your lungs? Even when you're being pepper sprayed and stuff like that, you can still breathe, but it makes you cough and you can feel air going into your lungs. CS gas, you don't feel that. It takes that feeling of gas and shit going in, like, it takes the feeling of the air and shit that you're breathing. It takes that feeling away. Like, you don't feel that feeling going into your lungs of your lungs filling up. It's like somebody stuck a vacuum cleaner down your throat and sucked out all your air. and it's brutal. It really is brutal. So when I went through the gas chamber, they done that to us, guys. I freaked the fuck out. Like they made me take my gas mask off. And what you're supposed to do, the instructors, they couldn't even see you. Only how you knew it was an instructor, they would grab you by your shoulders and pull you until your face, till your gas mask was like face to face with them, like hitting their gas mask. And they'd say, okay, now take off your gas mask and say the name of your institution, because they want you to breathe that shit in. Well, I took my gas mask off, and I took a breath to try to fucking say the name of my institution. By that time, guys, I passed out. Like I hit the wall. When I hit the wall behind me, I come back to. I freaked out. And next thing I know, I was like on the floor. I seen the door open. I seen the light shining in from the sun of the door. They opened, and I fucking crawled out of there. And for you guys that don't know, CS gas just ain't one of them things like you see on military channels. They have you come out flapping your wings and shit like that. They have us do that too. But what they don't tell you about CS gas, when you get exposed to it, and like I said, it takes that feeling of you not being able to breathe from you. You can't just go outside and expect to take a deep breath of air. When you're coming out of the gas chamber, you're breathing like like you only have to take you can only take little breaths, like, and it's not that it's that shit's making you take little breaths. Like, you can try all you want to take a deep breath, you ain't taking no deep breath like when you come out of the gas chamber. That shit is brutal. So I was like, to me, that really sparked something in me to see all this less than lethal, like flashbang, CS grenades, and of course down here in Kentucky you had to have a special license to get CS gas because it's tear gas. But if you see pepper balls and shit with CS powder and shit in it, it's the same thing. It's the same shit, just in powder form. Just CS gas and smoke form is different. And guys, for y'all that wonder the reason they threw a smoke grenade in with a CS grenade, for you guys that don't know, if you guys, I'm not telling you guys to go do this, but you can build a fire and make it real smoky. And if you take a can of Fogger pepper spray or OC spray and spray it into that smoke, your next door neighbors, if there's smoke's going through them, they're probably gonna be mad, because what that does, the smoke carries the crystals and everything from the OC and CS gas, it carries it for farther ranges. So somebody about 500 yards away that says, all that, they're just burning a fire or something, it's just smoke, and they get out there in that shit, and after you fucking put a CS grenade or sprayed some Fogger spray in it, it can fucking choke them out and they'll think they're fucking dying because it travels. So that's why they do that for. But that to me is really what sparked my interest in less than lethal and getting into the hobby and just loving it myself, guys. Because once you see what these effects has on your own body and the people around you, you're like, Lord have mercy. Like this shit right here can be brutal. So after I went through the pepper ball and stuff like that, I really got into it. And my first launcher that I bought was the Tippmann TMC Elite. I love that launcher. It's like the AK-47 of the less lethal world. It don't matter what you put that thing through, it keeps going. It might not be many joules, but it's sure and hell fun to shoot. And then my collection, like I said too, guys, my collection ain't really big. I think I got the TR-50. I got a Taser Pulse. I got a shit ton of OC spray. I got a Valken M17 and a Tippmann TMC. And a few little pocket knives. And that's about it, guys. I'm slowly growing my collection as I go and stuff, because I want to be very picky. But that, to me, the corrections is really what sparked my interest in less than lethal, because there you actually get to see firsthand and stuff how less lethal affects your body. Which, when they test this stuff on you, like with the pepper balls and stuff and everything like that, it's in a controlled environment. And guys, like East Coast Less Lethal said and stuff like that, with not testing this shit on yourself, he's true, guys, because it can kill you. It's less than lethal. Just because it's less than lethal don't mean it has a potential to be lethal. That's why it's called less than lethal. So if you guys ever do decide to do it, which I highly don't do it unless you're going into a field that requires you to do it, like law enforcement, corrections, or military or something, because it's in a controlled environment. Like when I went through pepper spray training and CS training and pepper balls, that shit sucks, but it was in a controlled environment. We had EMTs and paramedics on standby. We had people on standby in case something happened, that they can deal with it. It's life threatening. And of course, guys, the instructors, they've been doing that shit a long time. If they think there's something wrong with you and stuff, they'll pull you out and they'll check yourself. They've seen a lot of crazy shit and everything. So that's really what sparked my interest into less than lethal, guys, and really what got me into the less lethal community, is going through the corrections. And with that being said, also after I went through all that training and stuff, and while I was still active with the Kentucky DLC, that's when I picked up DK Spencer's channel, because I was looking up less lethal. I also found Sean from Less Lethal for Dummies. I found East Coast Less Lethal. There's so many other good channels too, guys. Run Rebel, I think's his name. He's got a lot of stuff where he's talking and testing jewels and stuff too. But I was watching these guys' channel even when I didn't have the same marker they have, guys. And that's, like I said, at the first, knowledge is power. Always arm yourself with knowledge. If you're going to do something, have knowledge about it. Just don't be careless. And especially with a marker or anything, guys, like something that potentially can cause harm to you, don't be careless with it. Get knowledge, get the proper training for it, and learn how to use it. But I was watching these guys before I even had any kind of markers and everything. Like, I watched so much of Sean Less Lethal for Dummies videos. When I finally got my Titman TMC Elite, I knew how to take that thing apart just by how much videos I watched of him, just by knowledge. And it was for real, it was a little bit different for me when I actually got my marker, and I felt like I've had this marker my whole life, even though I've not, just from watching his experience. So guys, that's what I'm saying. If you ever have a question, there's so much help and support in this Less Lethal community, guys, that you can reach out. Don't be scared to reach out to me, East Coast Less Lethal, DK Spencer, Sean from Less Lethal for Dummies, Rune Rebel. If I can't give you the right answer to, I'll point you in a direction of somebody that can give you an answer to. And if they can't give you an answer to it, I'm sure they'll point you in a direction of where you can get an answer to it. And that pretty much wraps up my Less Lethal experience, guys. And before I end this on a good note, I just want to say, anybody that's going into the Kentucky Department of Corrections, guys, like I said, it does have a mental toe factor to it. If you're going to be working around killers and rapists, you better make sure you got the mindset to be able to handle that kind of work. Like I said, it does take a toll on you after a while. Like myself, I got anxiety and PTSD a little bit from that. Like when I go out to eat, I still have to watch doors and stuff. Like when I go out in Walmart and stuff and I hear kids playing in the aisles and stuff, it freaks me out a little bit, just because of the shit I've seen. Like I hope there ain't no kids that seen this part. If they do, cover your ears for what I'm about to say. Like, I'll tell you, one of the craziest things I've seen people get stabbed. I've seen fights. I've seen broken bones. I've seen some crazy shit. The craziest shit that I've probably ever seen and witnessed is, we had this inmate, I'm not going to specify his name, but he had, like, I don't know what was wrong with him. He was just, like, he had some mental health issues. But he was in the restricted housing unit, and in the restricted housing unit, they ain't supposed to have razor blades or nothing. Somehow or another, like I said, they're crafty. He got a hold of a razor blade. He took his nutsack open, took his ball and cut all the veins and shit to his ball, and was sitting there playing with it when the officers come and checked on him. So that was a medical emergency. They took him to the hospital. They sewed him back up, fixed him. They sent him back, put him back in through the hole, and the dumb son of a bitch cut his nutsack open again. And it come to a point where he done it so much, like after the 5th time they took him to the hospital, the officers did, the doctors refused to sew him back up. So it's like a big argument with the doctors and shit, like to sew him back up. But when you actually see somebody that has their nut in their hand and bouncing it off the wall, guys, like I said, that shit fucks with you. And like I said, when he done that, there was blood everywhere, blood dripping. There was blood everywhere. I don't see how the dude didn't die from blood loss. But it was like, it's a very messy situation, guys. And like I said, you see them inmates at their worst points and at their best moments in prison, because you got a lot of guys in there who really just trying to get through their prison sentence. Then you got some guys in there that's done life who just don't give a fuck. They'll try to hurt you, and they got they got years to sit there and plan on how to hurt you and ways to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. And guys, like I said, they're real like fucking, like I said, inmates is fucking crafty. Like I said, they like on the female officers, and I'm not trying to hate on female officers. Like I went through the academy with a lot of good people. I worked with a lot of great people and stuff. But female officers, the inmates seem to roll more towards them, because they try to talk to them and then get the officer warmed up to them, and then after the officer, that'll lead into flirting somehow. And then that female officer, because in my time, I've seen a lot of female officers get fired for fucking inmates and bringing contraband into them. And it starts, guys, just by a conversation. It starts slow and it builds in. Like, an inmate might take 2 years of his life just talking to you real nice and doing everything you want him to do, cleaning the dorms for you, just where he can ask you, hey, can you bring something in for me, dude? And I'll give you $3,000 on Cash App. And then once you do that, your life's ruined. I can't stand a dirty officer. It's fucking nonsense. Then them guys, there's a lot of decent people in prison, like I said, trying to do their time, but them guys is in fucking prison for a reason, guys. Like, remember that. For anybody that's going into corrections, remember that. They're in there for a fucking reason. Yeah, you can talk to them and joke with them, but they ain't your fucking friend. They're out to get you. With that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video short. And like I said at the first of it, LTL interviews, if you want to use this for your interviews for whatever reason, I mean, you're more than welcome to do it, to edit it any how you want to edit. And before I go, Less Lethal, I feel like it's grown as a community. It's going to get bigger. It's going to keep getting bigger. And one thing I would like to see with the Less Lethal community and stuff, I think this would be real fun. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but anybody who watches this, like Sean, East Coast Less Lethal, DK Spencer and stuff, imagine doing like every other week, doing like FaceTime calls and stuff, like on there, just like all the Less Lethal people and stuff, like that you know of, all gets in one big call and has really good conversations about Less and Lethal, and keep up to date and current with all the new Less and Lethal stuff and everything. And the reason I say it, because it's a little bit hard sometimes watching these videos and having to wait for somebody to drop a video to be able to comment on that video of that person and try to respond to them. When I was in corrections, like all the sergeants and stuff on first shift, we had 3 shifts, first, second, third, and I worked second shift. So it was really hard to communicate with first shift sometimes and stuff. So all the sergeants and supervisors, we had like a weekly meeting and stuff on how we could do better. We would just talk about what we could do better and what's going on in the world of the prison. And I think if we had something like that in Less Than Lethal, where we had like all the decent people who makes really good content and great videos and stuff, just like, because I know Sean is in Canada and he can't come down here, or he can come down here, or he might come down here, I don't know. I hope he does come down here. I'd like to meet that dude one day. He seems like really cool. I'd like to meet all of them. I'd like to meet DK. I'd like to meet East Coast. They seem like really good guys. But I think just doing like a video conference or something, just on call, and just being able to talk to people like live and stuff, and video record it and stuff, would be good for the Less Lethal community, because get to keep up on all the date, find out new information, and it gives you a little bit of insight on my life and what I'm going, and it gives me a little bit of insight on your guys' life and stuff. Because like I said, we got to stick together as a Less Lethal community, guys. If not, we're going to be out here doing stupid shit, and somebody's going to end up getting hurt by somebody not with these markers, guys, because that shit Bernadone promoting false advertisement, it's going to get somebody hurt. And it still blows my mind that they really reach out to these big YouTube channels that's got millions of subscribers to promote a product knowing it's a lie, just to get people to buy it. That tells me Burnham must be bad off, or they must be scared of all the new Less Than Lethal stuff coming out. It's going to put them out of business or something. But I mean, it really is crazy. But anyways, I'm the Less Lethal Bandit. I hope this video helped some of you guys. If not, I mean, I don't care. I mean, if you guys don't like me, I really don't care. I mean, I'm not here to cause trouble or nothing with nobody, or no confrontation with nobody. But yeah, guys, that pretty much sums up the Less Lethal Bandit. Thank you, guys.